Well, Justin, the main thing we do here at Wake Dad Drink Repeat is we ask all of our guests to share their definition of a today's dad. So we have been anxiously awaiting to hear yours. So I will let you have the floor.
Cool, man. So, yeah, I thought, a lot about this, and it's, my definition of today's dad is going to be different than most people's. It's an individual thing, right? So, I mean, my one thing that's super important to me that I think my kids could all attest to is, it's super important for me to be a role model for my kids and show them, the value of hard work, dedication, drive. Showing them that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve in this life, as long as you put the work in and dedicate yourself to it. Be passionate about something, chase something, dream big, and shoot for the stars. If you miss, you land on the moon. I love that, and I try to exemplify that to my kids. And I think that's important today because there's so much stuff out there in the media, about just positive thought and believing in something is just going to happen. And that's definitely true. That has to be there, but that's only a small part of the equation. You still have to work hard, and so I try to lead by example in that department. And of course, unconditional love, showing your kids unconditional love and support is something that I was shown by my dad, my parents, and something that that comes pretty easily to me. And then, you have to balance that with setting up some structure and boundaries for your kids. And that comes a little bit harder because that usually comes with some friction. So, as a dad, not every day is going to be good. As you guys, I'm sure know, especially as they get into, the teenage years, man. It can be hard. It can be challenging. And I think, one of the unique challenges of today's dad compared to our dads is the technology, the screen time, the constant battle with that. Not even just for the attention with your kids and the time, but just for them to be present, in the moment. It's kind of not becoming lost, but it's always a challenge, for our kids and even for us. I'm sure I can for myself. And I think that's, I guess, if I could say, the most important thing that I do, or I try to do, in being a dad, is to be present, to be there with your kids when you're there with them. I'm not always with my kids, even though we're in the same house. I'm focused on, what I'm trying to build, and, trying to balance that with just being a dad for them. But I think that's kind of the most important thing. And there's this blog post that is who wrote it? See, Tim Urban, and it's called The Tail End. I don't know if you guys have read that, but it's, it kind of just puts life in perspective and into these like little graphics that show just they paint a really good picture of how little time you have on this planet. And then, it kind of concludes with how little time you actually have with your kids. And, at the end of the blog post, he says that, by the time your kids turn 18, they leave the house, to go to college or whatever their next life move is, you will have spent 93% of the in-person time you'll ever spend with your kids. And that is just always stuck with me, man. It's almost something I want to get like a tattoo on my wrist of, so I can just look down and see that, because it's crazy, how fast time goes. So I think just being present, and just spending as much quality time with your kids is the most important thing you can do, being today's dad, and everything else just kind of falls into place if you can focus on that. So yeah, that's all I got.
Bravo, man.